All right, folks, this is Hard Hat Conversations. I told y'all I was going to bring some guests on. Today we got a special guest. He's going to introduce himself tonight. So I want everybody to sit back. This is going to be a longer show than it was before. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So, folks, sit back, get your favorite beverage, bring somebody in to watch. Come on, folks, let's get it going. This is Hard Hat Conversations. Okay, folks, y'all ready? Let's do it! All right, folks, Hard Hat Conversations. This is Richard. I'm stationed here in Cleveland, and we got a tough show for you tonight. It's gonna be good, cause remember I told you on my previous videos, we talk about the hard truth, folks. We don't sugarcoat nothing. We just two regular guys here, and my special guest he gonna get into what he do and what he's feeling about the elections and folks, all types of topics that's coming up. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking and let him introduce himself.
All right. My name's Keith. Been working with Richard for about 2 years now. Like you said, just here to answer whatever questions that he got, give my opinions and thoughts on whatever topics we choose to discuss, be it election, sports, whatever we talk about. But also run my own YouTube channel as well. So if you guys are into sports gambling, the name of my channel is Dominate the Books. So I do everything from the NBA to the NHL, all parlays, picks, predictions. I'm your man. So that's it. Let's do it.
Let's do it, folks. All right, Keith. I wanted to talk to you about the election that just happened. We're talking about politics, folks. We're not sugarcoating, so get ready. We're doing it from where they always talk about racism all the time, and I don't like using that, but that's our to me, that's our construct. Jump in anytime you want to, Keith, if you got an opinion on something.
Okay.
But they always use that construct, so that's why I got to use the black, white, blue, red, yellow, whatever. So they made a big thing about Donald Trump is not going to win because they don't like what he say. They didn't say nothing about his policies or anything. All they did was talk about the man, what he was saying, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Now, we can do that with everybody. I could talk about myself. I say some stupid stuff and all that I don't like. And there's some people out there that say stuff that I don't like. But that don't mean I'm not going to vote for a person because of some of the stuff they say. I'm going to vote on their policies. And Keith, I'd like to ask you, what's your perspective as a black man on these politics?
Well, just taking a look at the election as a whole, like I agree with a lot of stuff that you just said. One of the things that was like surprising for me and encouraging, because me myself, I voted for Donald Trump.
Right.
I voted for Trump. But one of the things that surprised me was the exit poll numbers and how it broke down, by race and gender, who voted for who. And I was surprised and, like I said, encouraged to see that a lot more men, not only Latino men, but black men, had went over to the Republican side.
And why do you think that?
Why did they went over?
Yeah. Was it because what do you think? Was it because they liked what he was saying, or they didn't like what he was saying, or was you think it was that his policies, or what do you think?
I think it was all that. I think it was that, and like that song say, "Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping." You know what I'm saying? People
Right.
waking up.
Right.
People waking up, and they see what's really going on.
Wow.
I mean, like, as black people, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I just know the majority of people I know, it's like from the time that you a kid and you growing up, you automatically are told by your parents or grandparents, whatever, that you supposed to revote Democrat.
Right.
This is just what it is.
I was told the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how the majority of us are raised. So it's kind of like when you start growing up, and then you just start looking at the world for like what it really is. You just kind of think, you like, man, something ain't right.
You know what I didn't like, Keith, is because most of the issues the Democrats was talking about this time around, and like I said, this is hard hat conversations. We're telling the truth, hard truth. I didn't like the fact that I was a Democratic, just like you. My mama, daddy, I was born to vote for Democratic because I grew up poor, and I felt at that time that the Democratic, at one time they did, was for the poor people, trying to give us more and help us out than the Republicans was at that time.
Okay.
But I think this is a different time now. I think with all the education that's going on, I think with the civil rights and everything, that a lot of blacks and minorities are able to get more opportunities and educated more. I think we're growing more to where we're always going to have racism and people saying all kind of crazy stuff. It's always going to be a small group. But I think a lot of black men really got upset because all I heard as a black man and a man in general was women's rights, transsexual rights, the border, and I'm like, okay, what about the working poor? What about men? It's like we didn't exist. Everything was just catered to those three main characters.
And I think a main reason for that is because Kamala Harris, she wasn't elected. Like, the process usually goes, they go through a primary.
Yes.
And through that primary, you pick who you want to run for president.
Right.
She lost to Joe Biden the first time the first time he ran.
Right.
So she was just pretty much selected and put in place.
And don't forget, Keith, not to cut you off, don't forget when they was doing a primary to get Joe Biden,
she was going at him.
She was going at it, calling him a racist. Right,
yeah.
right. Have
right.
people forgot about that?
People have selective memory, man. You know what I mean? Selective amnesia. They want to remember what they want to remember. But the fact that she was just selected, to me, they just put her in place to be a polar opposite of what he stood for.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So going back to what you said, what else did she have to run on? She didn't talk about policies or anything.
Anything.
She just talked about women's rights, LGBTQIA, whatever they call it now. They talked about all those rights.
Right.
And it's just like, all right, but what you gonna do for the country?
Right.
Other than that, like, it's more than abortion and all that.
Right. Good point. And I want to bring up another thing too on that, since we're on that.
Mm-hmm.
They always talk about the working poor. Who is the working poor? I consider myself the working poor. And I just went online, and you can look it up, folks, U.S. Census Bureau, I think it's around 70,000 they consider a family of four is middle class. And to me, folks, with these prices, and even before this inflation, that's ridiculous. A family of four living off of 70. It may sound like a lot of money if you getting food stamps and on Section 8, but that's nothing. You need a car, place to live, you're feeding four people, and none of these issues were addressed by this Biden and Kamala Harris, administration. They had 4 years.
To me, man, it was just like, think about when Trump was in office, prior to when they took office. I was single before Harris and them got into office.
In the pandemic.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is because as a single guy, you gotta prepare your own food and all that type of stuff.
Right.
I used to go to Giant Eagle, and I used to make this meal where I get some like chicken thighs and rice and broccoli and all this type of stuff. the pack of chicken thighs that I used to get was like $3.99 or $4.99.
Right.
They was in office for like 6 months. Them joints went up to $8.99 and $9.99 a pack. So it's just like that alone should just tell you, okay, it was like this when he was in here.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they here, it's like that. But we can look at that. We can look at the gas prices.
Right.
Everything went up as soon as they got in office. So even if you care about abortion and women's rights and the LGBTQ and all
And that's
that type of
fine.
stuff,
If you care about that, that's
that's
fine.
all cool. But what about this other stuff?
Yeah.
Like you want to keep on going to the grocery store. Think about this, man. Like, remember at some point you can order takeout. People be like, man, I ain't finna order no takeout. That is too expensive. You know, I'm gonna cook at home.
Right.
Nowadays, you get some takeout. It's pretty much the same price as going to the grocery store. Sometimes it's cheaper depending on what you get.
I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, I took all that into consideration, man. You know, and if nothing else, I think people need to just wake up to the fact that you've been voting this way your whole life. It ain't got you nowhere.
Nowhere.
So if nothing else, why don't you just go this way? Because if you keep putting your ballot in this box for these people and they see they ain't got to do nothing to get your vote, then why would they ever do anything for you going forward?
And one thing I didn't like is that everybody has an agenda when they come. You know, the lobbyists, the rich, they always holler about the rich lobbyists, but they have an agenda. Mm-hmm. They want this passed so they can make money this way and that way.
Right.
Whatever the lobbyist is, the hospitals, all these companies. So when it comes to us, we have these so-called black leaders, and they never present an agenda for black folks. All they do is just throw stuff out there, just run their mouths about stuff, and they never get together and put any package together.
Because they're not in it for that. I'm not allowed to cut you off.
Go ahead.
They ain't in it for that. Like that, the Al Sharptons of the world, when they race hustlers, they use that that black stuff because they trying to fatten their own pockets by doing that. They sit on TV and they'll argue with a Laura Ingraham or Megyn Kelly or these type of people. You know, they got these talking heads. He on this side saying, "Oh, you white people racist," and blah blah blah, and she like, "Nah, we ain't racist," blah blah blah. But behind camera, they friends. You know
They
what I'm
all
saying?
friends.
Yeah, they friends. It's a show. So what they doing is they just trying to strike a nerve, play on people's feelings because they know in the black community like that racism stuff is a sore spot. But that's how they trick you and manipulate you to get you to keep going over there where you don't need to go.
So here's another question. Folks out there, like, subscribe, comment, you know. Like I said, we just talking. We don't have all the answers. So who's the racist? Is it the black leaders that's holding black folks down? They're telling them that they can't lift themselves up. We still got chains all on us. And but I look at them. Their family's doing good.
Right.
Their kids, we got one of them that show the View. I mean, if you want racism and what they call that, misogyny, there you go right there on that show.
Yeah. Because
it's like a He-Man woman hater show to me.
I remember, and you was telling me a couple weeks ago, I know we was talking about this. You said Whoopi Goldberg, who was on the View, she used to date Ted Danson, and how he made some type of off-brand comment or racist joke.
Used to wear blackface.
Used to wear blackface. And she
wrote,
took up on him or something.
She
right?
wrote the script for him.
Wow.
She jumped in there and said that she wrote the script on all the black offensive jokes that he said, and she was down with what he was doing. So now.
But now you didn't change.
Yeah, now you done changed.
Why?
Yeah, what's the difference? It's money.
It's like
I
Al
agree.
Sharpton and all them other people.
What's that other lawyer? He been quiet for a while.
Ben Crump.
Yeah, the police chaser.
Yeah, ain't nobody got killed by the police lately.
Yeah,
So
have you noticed that? Nobody, folks, listen. Nobody got killed. Hold up. Not nobody by the police. We got to be. This is hard truth. No black people got killed by a white man lately. So that's why he ain't been in the news. Now, as soon as we get another white cop trying to do his job, when some thug is just out there trying to hurt the neighborhood, then he's trying to stop him. Then they ready to put him in jail. You put them all in jail, folks. What you gonna do? Vigilante or what? I don't get it, man. It just don't make no sense. But you got Leroy, Buki, Cool D out here, and you know where the crack houses are. You know where the drug houses are. The same people is doing the same crime, but the churches ain't saying nothing. The mayor ain't saying nothing. The city council ain't doing nothing. But let one or two white cops try to arrest some of them bums that's making black people look bad, you ready to put them in jail.
And that's another part of the game that they play. Because, I mean, the majority of people that live in this country are white people. So just on that alone, it just tells you when people get killed by the police, the majority of people that's getting killed by the police is white people.
Yes, they are.
But what do we see on our television all the time? You know, it happens so infrequently. Think about it like this. It happens so infrequently. We know the names of the people that got killed. Mike Brown, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland. That's how infrequently this stuff happens. We know their names. Mike Brown got killed, like 8 years ago or something?
Right.
Tamir Rice, same thing with him. And that's not to say, like, in every situation, like, the cops maybe didn't cross the line here or there, just do something wrong.
Yeah,
but
some of them do.
Yeah,
Some of them do.
Yeah, I ain't saying that at all.
Some of them do.
But I'm saying the fact that they just keep rerunning that, it's a reason they do that. It's all a part of the manipulation that they try to run to get you thinking a certain way.
Now, let me ask you this on that. Could that be a racism thing with the news media? Or is it a money thing?
What do you mean?
Or just showing a lot of blacks on TV doing crime all the time? Or is it the blacks that's doing? Because my question is, here's my question.
Okay.
Every day we see on the news, mostly what we see, Kia boys, robberies. Most of them are blacks and a few minorities. So how do we not say, if I'm a white person and I don't live in no black neighborhood, I live in an all white neighborhood,
right,
and I'm not around them every day, I may work with a few minorities, is that just unaware, or would that make you think that black people don't do nothing but crime?
Like if you watch the news?
Yeah, if I watch the news and see that. Because remember, I'm not living around them. I don't have no black neighbors. I'm not interacting with them, but maybe at work or something at the most. But no personal relationship. Don't see them on an everyday basis, out of work. So could it be that they just unaware of what's going on? Or could it be that that's what they see on the news and they think that most of us are like that?
It could be. I guess to answer your question, is it racist that you think is it racist that they run?
Yes. Or is they just running crime, and it just happen to be a lot of blacks doing those crimes, those type of crimes.
I think it's the majority of that. I mean, because everybody commit crimes. But if we're gonna be honest about it, the majority of the people that are doing it is the people that look like us.
Yeah, they're doing those type of crimes.
I mean, man, if I'm gonna be real, like when I see more black people moving in my neighborhood, I get upset. Because I know it's only, especially when I see single black moms. They got their badass kids. And you know, single black, before you know it, it's trash on the ground. I remember being a little kid looking at the old man pick up the trash off the ground. That's me now. I'm coming home, it's hot Frito bags and all this type of stuff on the floor. I'm picking up on the ground, I'm picking it up. And not only that, it's just like I said, when you see single black mothers moving to your neighborhood, come they badass or they bad kids.
Right.
But what else that bring? That bring baby daddies.
Multiple.
Yeah, people standing outside freaking Black and Miles in front of your house, smoking weed. And then next thing you know, the car getting broken into. I woke up the morning of the eclipse. Finna come to work. As I'm walking closer to my car, I'm like, what the hell? window busted out.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Wasn't nothing taken, but you can tell by like how my center console was flipped up and papers were
They
everywhere.
was running through it.
Yeah, they was rambling through it. Now, where I live at, I ain't too far from East Cleveland. So if you put two and two together, I know I pretty much got a good idea who did that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Also, just like kind of going back to what you were saying about the news, I done been robbed. I've been robbed 4 times in my life at gunpoint. Now, all the times when when that happened to me, maybe I wasn't doing. I was doing some things, or maybe
That
in
should
that
be
area.
doing. Yeah, or in that area, right.
But you know who robbed me?
Blacks.
People that look like
Look like
us.
you, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I'm outside at night and I'm somewhere and I'm with my wife or with my kids or somewhere, I ain't turning my head doing like this or reaching for my gun, looking for white people.
Right.
You know who I'm looking for.
And folks, not to we're not beating up black people.
Man, we just gotta keep it real.
We just got to keep it real. This is what we live. We grew up in these neighborhoods. This is what we see. This is what we experience. Just like the I heard one guy on there. It was a brother too. What was his name? Charleston.
Oh, Charleston White.
Charleston White. This guy. A lot of y'all might know him.
Yeah,
I was
you know
looking
who
on
he is.
YouTube,
Yeah.
and he was saying something. I can't say exactly the words he was saying, but he said, "Listen to those rap songs. Every time they talking about going out killing somebody, it's always the N person, the N word. I'm going to kill an N. It's never saying I'm going to kill. Well, I shouldn't say kill a white, but I'm not going to harm a white person. I'm going to harm an N person." And we put up with that stuff, and they saying that. That's not me saying that. That's them saying that in a rap song. They never say they're going to hurt a white person. I'm going to hurt a N person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that mentality in our neighborhoods. And until the mayor, I'm just naming out a few people, I may miss a few. That's why I said those black mayors that get elected every term in those major cities like Detroit, Cleveland, Chicago, all over the United States, black city, Memphis, those black mayors, those councilmen, which the majority of them are black,
Democratic.
we need to hold them accountable because you know what they're not doing? And the black church, they're not talking about these kitchen table issues. Unwedlock mothers, women out here having kids by multiple men. That used to be shameful in the old days. Nobody's talking about that. They call them single moms. That's bull crap. That's not single mom. That's terrible. Those kids are going to suffer because they don't have no dad in the home. The income going to be low because we basically taxpayers are raising those kids. And we got to get back to that. Welfare is a temporary thing.
And that's where it all started. You know what I mean? And I know you probably speak to this more than I can because you're a little older than me, but Section 8, food stamps, all that type of stuff, that's the thing that kind of just tore our communities and our families apart.
Right.
Because, you know, of course, in order to get all that type of stuff, you can't have no man in the house.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll give you these food stamps. We make your rent $18 a month, but you can't have no man. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And that was the choice, and they took it.
Wow.
And now
It done blew up. And now it's hard. You can't go back. They steady building all these projects with our tax dollars, folks. You know I am about them tax dollars.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like they having baby factories.
So what's the solution?
I think this is one of my solutions. First of all, I think that after 1 or 2 kids, now this is just the first start. We can go even further, folks. A lot of folks ain't gonna like this, but that's the way it is. After 1 or 2 kids, we stop giving them more money we stop rewarding them for having kids out of wedlock by different men.
So it should be a cap.
It should be a cap,
Okay.
yes. And then, if you go over that cap, we're going to have to lock you up. We're going to put you up and then take your kids and let them go with some family member or something. A close family member. Because somehow we got to start somewhere, folks. We got to start somewhere. You know, some people want to go as far as tying their tubes.
So when you say when they go over that cap, what you mean? Like they go over the amount of kids that they have?
Oh, amount of kids,
Okay,
yes. I'm
okay,
sorry,
okay,
amount of
okay.
kids.
I got you.
1 or 2, but after that, no more extra money. Oh, I got 3 kids. Can you give me an extra $100?
So I know we started off this conversation. We was talking about the election and all that kind of stuff, and we kind of went over in this direction.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of just to kind of get back to that, like one of the things, like you said, on the other side that they was talking about was abortion.
Right.
How you, like kind of tying into this conversation we having right now about the single moms and all that type of stuff. How you feel about that, the abortion issue?
Well, you know, and we're gonna get in this later. I don't want to use the word religion because that's another construct that we have to use. But I got to use it so you can identify what I'm trying to say. Even if I wasn't so-called religious, I just don't believe in taking nobody's life.
Okay.
Now, if it's a medical reason that's going to kill the mother, that's different. If it's like rape or incest, that's still going to be hard for me, but I will give that decision to the mother. But anything else, if I go out and party and drink a whole bunch of Hennessy or Ciroc or something, and had a one-night stand and get pregnant and say, ooh, I messed up, I just partied, and then I want to take a pill or have an abortion because I got drunk and doing something stupid, that's different. Because if we do that, I think our society, which is already hurting right now, it's like we don't care about life, and that's just my opinion on it.
Man, listen, the majority of us don't plan our kids. If you think about it, like, I'm the father of 2 beautiful daughters, and them wasn't no planned parents. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, I did what I did.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do. Here's the other thing. Here's my other thought on that. So you know how I was having this conversation with somebody else, and I was saying that, all right, if a woman want to have an abortion, cool, but shouldn't the man have some say in that?
I agree wholeheartedly.
You know what I'm saying? Because if we look at it like this, it's both. The child is here because of 2 people, not just one.
Right.
So a woman can make the decision to say, I'm getting rid of this baby. I'm just getting rid of it. You got to deal with it. But she can also make the decision to say, I'm keeping this baby, and you shouldn't have did what you did. So now you gotta pay for it. You know what I'm saying? And with that, you get put on child support and blah blah this and blah blah that. If you don't pay your child support, you go to jail. Your driver's license gets suspended. That decision is solely based on the mother, and I don't feel that that's right.
I don't. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because what if the man want the baby? Then what?
So what do you say about a woman that say, well, it's my body. You ain't carrying it for 9 months like I got to do. So what do you say to somebody like that?
That's true. It is her body, and we don't carry it. But you wouldn't be carrying it if it wasn't for the man.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
I agree, yeah.
It take 2 people to make a baby.
So you think both male and female
I think
should have a decision on it after the baby's born? She should carry it, and then they make a decision on what to do with the child afterwards.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think maybe there should be like some type of counseling in place. Like if she want to keep the baby and he doesn't, or vice versa. I think there should be some type of sit down that you should have with like a professional to say, okay, well, why you want to get rid of this baby?
Because I think it's easy for you to say you don't want something if you don't see it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I guarantee you, once that baby come out, I guarantee you a lot of women that have second thoughts. And I'm quite sure there's stories out there where women was going to get a young woman's gonna get an abortion, then she had the baby and said, thank God that, or whatever she believed in, she didn't have that child. I mean, she had the child. So,
Right.
So out of sight, out of mind is sometimes.
And I'm glad you said that because you made me think about something. Because I watch people like Candace Owens and Jason Whitlock and these type of people that are black, they're conservatives.
Conservative, right?
One of the things that they advertise, and I've been looking for a charity that I can give to, and I think this is one that's worth giving to. It's a place called Preborn.
Yeah, I heard of
You
that.
seen that?
Yes.
And basically, what they do for the people that don't know is if a woman comes in to have an abortion, they give her an ultrasound, let her see what the baby, see the baby.
They can actually see the baby in the womb moving.
She can hear the heartbeat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a genius idea because, like you said, if you don't see something,
Out of sight, out of mind.
You know what I'm saying? But if you get somebody that picture, you let them hear that heartbeat, and like, yo, there's a life growing inside of you. That can change a lot of people's minds.
True that. I agree.
What's your next question, dog?
All right, we're gonna get into this. Let's get in. You want to touch on this racism real quick? Because I'm so tired of talking about it.
Whatever you want to touch on.
Just keep it short. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah. What you got?
Okay, question 1: is there racism in the world? Yes or no?
The older I get, the more I'm starting to say no.
Okay, I'm gonna say yes. There's always gonna be racism.
Okay.
Because you're always gonna have a small group that's gonna keep that going.
Okay.
I put racism with crime. You're always gonna have crime.
Mm-hmm.
You're always gonna have racism, but you're always gonna have it on racism on a small level. Because, like you just said, the key word, even the ones that so-called racist and they don't even know why, they were just told to be racist. Education helps, and that's why I love this. What we on right now, this social media and YouTube. There's good when there's something good. There's always something bad, but that's why I say racism is being defeated every day, because we got so much information out here that we can't have one little town or one city or one person where we live at say, oh, don't move there, don't go there. They like this, they like that. All you gotta do is click on here and you'll see black people work and take care of their family. Vietnamese people taking care of their Mexican, Puerto Ricans, poor whites taking care of their family. Chinese taking care. You'll see all type of races people taking care of their families. So that's what I love about this.
Well, the reason I say the older I get, the more I just think no, because I think does prejudice exist? Yeah, like if people don't like people based on what they look like or the color of their skin.
Is there a difference between prejudice and racism? Is that two different things?
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. I think racism is basically more of like a power structure that holds a certain group of people back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I think, in my opinion, racism is.
And what about prejudice?
Prejudice is what I just said. Like, I think, like if I'm black and you white, and I don't like you just because you white, that's being prejudiced.
Okay.
But racism, I just think
it has more power.
It has more power, more control.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody stopping me from doing nothing I don't want to do because of the color of my skin.
Right.
Nobody. You know what I'm saying? If I want to quit the job I'm at today and go get another one,
you can do that. Right.
If I want to move from where I'm at and go move somewhere else, I can do that.
Right.
So I don't understand. Like, I'm not the type of person that buy into the white man holding us down and all that.
I agree. I don't either.
I don't think like nothing or nobody can hold me down from doing anything.
But myself.
That I want to do. Yeah.
I'm my worst enemy.
And to me, that type of thinking kind of just plays into more what we was talking about earlier. They want you to be a victim.
They do, yes.
You know what I'm saying? They always want you to think it's this boogeyman out here that's just holding you. Like, ain't nobody holding you down, man.
And who pushes that more, the whites or the blacks?
I think a little of both.
I think the black leaders push it even more now.
Them and liberal white
Oh,
people.
the liberal rights right behind
Yeah,
it.
liberal white people and the black race hustlers.
Yeah,
That's who push it.
I agree. I agree.
But I don't think, man, like the more and more the older I get, the older I've gotten, I think it's a personal and an individual thing. I don't think racism is like, it's not, of course it's not as prevalent as it used to be like back in the 60s and
50s.
yeah, the world has changed, man. We had a black president. We got a black vice. Well, I don't know if she black or not.
Well,
that's another conversation.
While she was running for office, she was
black.
black.
Yeah, she black now. Yeah,
she be Asian when she lose.
Yeah, whatever she is.
Whatever,
we got a person that's of color. That's a woman.
There we go.
That's the vice president. That was just running for president. So how, the majority of people that live in this country are white. If every black person in this country voted for Barack Obama, he wouldn't have won.
Right.
If it was just black people. So white people. So how racist are we?
Hey, black folks, did you just hear that? Hear what Keith said? He said, say that again about the vote.
If let's just say white people didn't vote for Barack Obama, right? If every black person in this country voted for him, he wouldn't have won the election.
Okay. So how you think he won it?
White people voted for him.
Please say it one more time. Because sometimes you gotta say
Except
it.
for the people in the back.
Yeah, in the back, that's sitting in the back with their arms folded like this.
Yeah, white people voted for, white people, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans,
fold those arms.
Asians, everybody voted for him. So how racist can we be as a country if we voted in? We voted him in twice. And he ain't even do nothing.
Twice, folks. And he didn't do nothing for minorities.
And they still voted for him.
And they still voted for him.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's why I say, man, I don't know. Like, when you kind of just look at the big picture, it's like, yo, I don't know. I mean, you can play that card. You can use that as an excuse while the rest of us.
We're all gonna keep moving on.
Yeah,
we're gonna keep moving forward.
With that
you stay on down there, wherever you want to stay.
I don't rock like that.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, now we getting to it.
All right, my brother. You want to talk about let's see, money a little bit?
Yeah.
How do you think, like I know you in this little thing called Bitcoin. A lot of people don't know about it. And what made you get into that?
Well, when we were all locked down in the house during COVID, just like a lot of people, I was just looking for something to do. I was watching. You couldn't go nowhere unless you was an essential worker, which I was. But
grocery store.
Yeah, once you got off, you could go get some groceries.
That's about it.
That's about it. So I just started, watching YouTube. I had heard about Bitcoin back in like 2016, 2017. A friend of mine told me about it.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm like, yeah, I heard of it before, but I don't understand it. And he was trying to explain it to me, and I'm like, man, I still don't know what you're talking about. Like, what is it? You know what I mean? So during the time I was just sitting in the house, I was just watching videos about it, and just educating myself on YouTube on exactly not just Bitcoin but crypto as a whole. And yeah, I'm a big crypto investor. It's something that I'm passionate about, something that I like learning about.
To the folks out there that don't know nothing about it, do you know an easy way they can get into it and start learning about it? Is there an app? Is there somewhere they can go where they can learn a little bit at a slow pace?
Yeah,
what started you off?
I'm definitely not a financial advisor. You know
right. Neither am I.
Right. But my advice would be to just do what I did. Just kind of just go on the internet and just read about it. Learn about it, watch videos, and then once you educate yourself more about it, there's several apps, like I heard you mention Coinbase before, because I watch your show all the time. I try to watch every episode. There's apps like Coinbase and Robinhood and Kraken.
Wow.
A bunch of different apps you can use to buy, sell, trade crypto.
And I noticed a lot of the places like Cash App, a lot of them are doing
Cash App. Yeah, I forgot about Cash App. Yeah, you can buy Bitcoin on there, but I would say before you buy anything, just educate yourself about it.
Right.
Same with stocks. the way I got into to stocks, because I watched this video and I remember this guy. He was just saying like, especially as black people, we talking a lot about black people because we black.
We black, yeah.
We black, but he said, we spend our money on Nikes. Why not go buy some Nike stock?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You drink Hennessy, go buy LVMH. That's the company that
P. Diddy.
that put out no, not P. Diddy. That's the company that's behind Hennessy.
Right.
They behind Dior and stuff like that. You buy certain things, invest in these companies. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, that makes sense to me. So that's how I started investing in the stock market. You know what I mean? Like even the foods you eat, the airlines that you travel on. You go
McDonald's stock.
McDonald's.
Just basic stuff.
Yeah.
Walmart.
You fly American, United Airlines all the time. Buy some of their stock.
Pepsi.
You bank with Chase. Buy some of their stock. You like to go on Carnival cruise when you go on vacation. Buy some of their stock. So that's how I just kind of got into that too, and just kept educating myself.
And you got YouTube. You got YouTube. Like I said, it's no excuse, folks.
Man, YouTube is
it's blowing up. No excuse. You got all these how to do. I bet you folks go out there and look up how to cook a steak or something. You can do the same thing with a stock or something. Or coin.
I remember a long time ago, my daughter's little friend, she came into the room. She had spent the night when they was little. And she was like, Mr. Keith, I can tell you how to do brain surgery. I'm like, okay. How you do brain surgery? I thought she was gonna say something like, well, first you open up their head and take, just like some little kid. Man, she started breaking all this stuff down, like real technical about it. Then you get the scalpel and then you disconnect this. I'm like, wow, who the hell am I talking to? And I'm like, where did you learn all that at? She was like, on YouTube. I was like, what the hell? But that's how awesome YouTube is, man. You can, your tail light bust out and you don't know how, or the light go dead, you don't know how to change the light. Go on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's just like anything else. And I love that platform, man.
I want to talk about immigration.
Okay.
A lot of the black politicians, Democrats, white liberals, and throw whatever else you can throw in that basket. They always saying that we need to help them. We need to let them all come in. They hurting. Their country is hurting them. Blah 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 blah. And we've been doing that forever. Immigrants been coming over here every year, but now it's different time. There's a process that you have to go through.
Right.
And just like when you go downtown and want to get on food stamps, there's a process. You have to have an address, ID, and all this other garbage. Just like when you go to your job to fill out an application.
Right.
You got to go get a drug test,
background check,
high school, all this old mess. So
right.
This is what bothers me, and this is right after COVID. I'm finna hit y'all hard, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. I'm finna hit you with a hard truth. I gotta come out with the bell, folks. I'm sorry. This is a hard question. Now, here's another thing. We're gonna run back to politics.
Okay.
Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, when he first got in there, and don't forget, he said, if you elect me, I'm gonna put a woman in. I don't care what she is. I'm gonna put a woman in. I don't care if she a pig with lipstick on and a wig. I'm going to put a woman in office. So he put her in, right? And don't forget, from day one, he said, she's going to be my border person. Czar, whatever they call it. Whatever grandiose name they make. Woman ain't never visited the border. She laughed away all the way in that White House. And they let all these people in. Now, this going after we coming out of COVID, folks. Remember, they made us take all these shots, put us, Biden talking about, remember Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, they're going to put you all back in chains. He said that to the black folk. Well, actually, Biden, you and Kamala put the whole United States in chains.
Remember, he came up with the crime bill in 1994.
Yeah, you helped voted on that crime, that 3-strike.
That was targeted towards our community. You know what I'm saying?
The poor minority community.
Yeah, hell
And that
yeah.
includes poor whites too as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of poor whites out there too.
True.
You know, West Virginia and all these other places. So we're talking about all the poor people, not just minority, but all the poor people, the working poor. So they let all these people come in. They wasn't vetted or nothing.
Mhm.
You know, they had no background check. Remember when you was a little kid, you had to take the measles shots, all this stuff.
Measles, mumps,
I just
rubella, all
saw
that.
I just saw a report on the local news the other day. Measles are going up. Could it be that a lot of these, and not just blaming it all on them folks, because I don't want y'all calling me racist or nothing, but I'm just pointing out a fact to you, bro.
It is what it is.
A lot of people in this country, without being vaccinated with measles, they can bring in diseases because they wasn't treated and stuff like this.
Mhm.
And then you just open up you actually broke the law. That's why the country developed ICE. It's a reason they have those agencies. Plus, don't forget we had terrorism going on.
Yeah.
A lot of the terror people could have came through there, you know, with fake credentials if they had any, and say I just need asylum. And we was getting them from Haiti. We was getting them from Iran, all kind of places,
Everywhere.
not just Mexico.
Yeah.
But everybody was like, okay, we can go around the paperwork. Let's just go through Mexico. So these two people did this.
Why you think they did that?
To me, like I said, this hard hat conversation, this is the hard truth. Ringing the bell. Hey, we got to tell the truth, folks. This is my opinion. And I'm a taxpayer, and I got the right to have a
Man,
damn opinion.
Don't qualify, just say it.
I'm just letting people know my credentials. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Later on, 5-6 years from now, after they vetted these people, get them in the system, they're going to be your future Democratic voters. Because
Yeah.
they're gonna be on Section 8, a majority of them. They're gonna be on the government dole, and anytime the government has control of you, you're gonna vote for most of the Democratic Party's gonna come up on that.
If they giving you free stuff, you gonna continue to vote for them because you want them to stay in office.
I'm gonna vote for whoever group, Republican or Democrat, that's giving me my free
I want to
stuff.
keep getting free, and that goes back to the Section 8 and the welfare and all. We just came full circle with the conversation. You think about it, who giving out the Section 8 and the welfare and all that? You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why they keep voting that way.
Democrats, you're guilty, 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 guilty. And that's why you lost, because you forgot about the working poor people.
Man. And to go back to the immigration thing, yeah, man, they gotta go. Like you said, it's a process. Like I understand, like your country all messed up and all that. You know what I mean? You want to get out because it's crime and drug cartels and everybody like just want to have a peaceful life.
Right.
But you gotta come in the right way. If you don't come in the right way, you gotta go.
Mm.
And they talking about, you breaking up families and stuff. Didn't nobody tell you to come over here?
The families are already broken up, and half of them are not even family members.
Listen, if I go out here and I knock somebody upside the head and I get arrested and go to jail, the police just broke up my family, but I broke the law.
Wow.
They came over here illegally. They broke the law. So you can't cry about your family getting broke up.
Right.
Because if I go out here and break the law and I get arrested, now my family's broken up.
True.
But I broke the law though.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So what's the difference?
There's no difference. No difference. I don't see no difference in that.
Yeah. They gotta go.
Yeah, I just don't understand, my brother. This is like I said, this election. Hopefully, this is part of the civil war that we need to have, and I call it a civil war, a breaking away from the old and entering into the new, because that old way of thinking is not working.
It's not.
So if enough minorities vote for the Republicans, now we're gonna hold the Republicans accountable.
Now your vote has some type of sway.
Yes.
Because if you keep voting over here and you're not getting nothing for it, when they come back up to run in the 4 years, they know we ain't got to do nothing for these people. We ain't even got to go talk to them because we already know what they voted on. They're gonna vote for us regardless.
Now the Democratic Party know that, man, we gotta do something for the working poor and everybody else.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
it's like even if you think the Republican Party is a bunch of racist, hateful people, or whatever, vote for them anyway.
Yeah, just
Vote
to,
just
to change it.
just
huh?
to change
I
it.
get it.
Because your vote should be like, because it's like chess. Your vote, it should be used strategically. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost like a bargaining chip or a negotiation tactic.
It is a bargaining chip. That's why they had
You
lobbyists.
want my
I
vote? What
agree.
you gonna do for me?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. And that's the problem with blacks in general, and even the Latino community.
Mhm.
There's no agenda made up, and these clowns that we have leading us, they don't want no agenda. They want us to stay down so they can stay rich.
Man, them dudes ain't leading me. I understand what you're saying, but I don't pay the Al Sharptons and the Bill Crumps.
It's garbage.
I don't pay no
All
attention
they
to
kids, a
none
lot
of
of
those
them, a lot of them kids, they going to the good schools. They got stocks in all these rich, so-called rich companies that they say stealing your money, but they got stock and check their portfolio. I guarantee you'll see some stocks and they making money off the same companies they telling you ain't no good.
And going back to what you said about a different way of thinking, because when you really look at politics for what it is, it's one big game. You know what I'm saying? Like just like we was talking earlier about how these people be on TV arguing, and then when that camera turn off,
They shaking hands.
same thing. You know, it don't matter if you left wing or right wing. It's the same bird taking a poop on all of us.
Right.
But that's what I liked about Donald Trump, though, because he didn't come in as a politician.
Right.
He had to come in on that side because in our country you got to pick a side. You know what I'm saying? This dude is a businessman. You know what I mean? Not only that, after he got elected the first time, I remember, because I didn't think he was gonna win.
Right.
I
Nobody,
didn't think he had a shot.
they thought Hillary was gonna win.
I thought she was gonna win
Yeah.
too. I fell asleep that night. I was like, man, I ain't watching this, and I woke up. I'm like, what the? But one thing I remember though is, I can't remember if it was the day after or a couple days after. Do you remember he was somewhere in New York coming out of a hotel, and he was with Steve Harvey and Jim Brown?
Yeah.
Now, everybody was saying Steve Harvey and Jim Brown, y'all Uncle Toms and sellouts and all this nonsense that, that we be wanting to say and use. But I see, I don't go with group things. I don't go with what everybody say just because everybody's saying it because you want to fit in.
Right.
I look at things for what they are. So I hit the pause for a minute and I said, why would Jim Brown, somebody that's almost like, I don't know, 80 years old at the time.
Right.
It ain't like he doing this for like clout or he trying to get, some type of shout out or something.
Right. He don't need no publicity.
He don't need none of that. And if you know anything about Jim Brown, he's always the type of person that kind of just stood for what's right. He started American, where he's trying to get people out of gangs.
Right.
And, get them back as being normal citizens. He stood by Muhammad Ali when he said, I ain't going over there to fight them big cons. They ain't did nothing to me.
Right.
Jim Brown quit football and said, I don't want to play no more.
Right.
I'm about to go do some movies. So what y'all gonna do about it? Jim Brown, especially to like people in a generation older than me, I could say he probably was the epitome of masculinity.
Manhood, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So when you think about all that, somebody that started an organization to try to get black and brown people off the streets and get them back working and taking care of their families.
Right.
Somebody that stood by Muhammad Ali when he said, F the government, I ain't going over there. Somebody that quit football and said, because I want to. I don't care what y'all say. I'm about to go do what I want to do because I'm a man. I can do that. Why would he need to go stand by him for any other reason than he believed what this dude was about to do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just don't make sense. So when you look at that type of stuff, it should make you think. It should make you think and say, nah, maybe these people that are trying to tell me that this dude is racist, maybe they're not telling the truth. maybe they trying to, maybe the people that's trying to tell me that, however they think that he feel about this group or that group, maybe I should look more into this.
Right.
Because Jim Brown, he just ain't standing next to this person for no reason. This the same guy that y'all saying was racist that was helping Jesse Jackson run for president.
People forget about that.
This is the same person when he was asked if he would run for president, he said nah, but if I did, I would probably choose somebody like Oprah Winfrey as my running mate.
Wow.
That dude racist? You know what I mean? So when you think about all this type of stuff, man, it's just like, I don't know, man. You people just need to start thinking for themselves.
I want people to stop using racism as an excuse. The racism is so small right now. So stop using racism and start looking in your own backyard. Look at yourself. You see all these black folks going to school, going to trade school, or just living their lives. Every black person is not stealing and robbing. You got young and old trying to live a life. I was in the Navy. I was in the service. I went all overseas back in the 80s. And I tell you, folks, America is a beautiful place. Even in your own household, you're going to have issues. You're always going to have past issues and future issues. That's the way of life.
Right.
But America is a beautiful place, and we need to get back to enjoying America. We know America wasn't perfect. We already know all that.
Right.
But we need to move forward as a nation and have that pride and really understand what America is. It's a land of opportunity, and it's a land where you can breathe a little bit and have some say so. Because if we was in some of those other countries, we couldn't do what we're doing right now.
Man, this is me on YouTube right now.
A lot of them people don't even have a welfare system. They got to eat whatever they find out on the ground.
Right.
So we got to get that pride back and don't beat up America too much. When we see racism, when we see certain bad crimes, yeah, let's jump on it because we want to keep it down.
Right.
But America is not messed up. America is the best place. It's the shining light. And as long as we keep fighting for her and do the right thing with her, she'll still be like that. But right now, it seems like she's going down, and we got to lift her up.
Yeah, it's definitely not as messed up as people think, or as they want us to think. You know what I mean? Like I said, like look, we broadcasting over YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Who owns YouTube? I guarantee it ain't somebody that look like us.
No, it don't.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So
I agree.
if this country was that racist and that messed up, why would they allow us to do what we do on our platform? It's people that look like us that's half our age that's millionaires from YouTube.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this is a great place. I haven't been all around the world like you, but hey man, this our home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Can't go
what else we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I like it here.
Okay. All right. Well, Keith, I think that's all I got for today, unless you got something else you want to bring up real
Man,
quick.
I thought we was gonna keep going for like another hour or two.
Hey,
what
well,
else?
I just want you to. Did you talk about your page when you came?
Oh yeah, I
mention
did.
your
I did.
page
I
again.
mentioned it. Dominate the Books, sports gambling. If you guys are into sports gambling, come check me out. Dominate the Books. We cover all the sports. As a matter of fact, I need to go home and do a video right now. Bro.
All right. We got to
So
win
good.
some money tonight because we got to go to Dominate the Books. Remember, let me say it one more time for y'all in the back, folding your arms all mad at what we said. Dominate the Books. I won some money, and I won more than I lost. So get up, get on that site, and quit looking at those videos of that nonsense and win some money. And check out, we're going to be coming up with some more videos later on. We're going to talk about some more issues, and we're going to stay around. So we're not going nowhere unless they take off YouTube.
They ain't taking it off. And can I say one other thing?
Go ahead.
I know of course we ain't here to try to like make anybody mad or anything like that. I hope the stuff that we talked about today it make people think.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't just think nowadays.
They just go by off of little shorts that they see on TV or whatever. Start, like you said, start thinking.
Start thinking. Stop wanting to always want to fit. A lot of people are scared to tell people who they voted for. You know why? Because don't nobody want to be ostracized. Don't nobody want the people in their social circle to be mad at them.
I know people that don't even talk to people because they voted for Donald Trump or Kamala. It's crazy.
Here's one of the things: the 4B movement.
Okay.
Do you see that?
I don't know much about it. Go ahead.
The 4B movement is basically liberal women. I don't know each bullet point that they're making, but I know what they're saying is if people that they associated with, like whether it be like their spouse or boyfriend or whatever, or just men in general, if you voted for a Republican or for Donald Trump, they saying they're not gonna have sex with you.
Wow. Wow.
They're not gonna date you. They won't have a baby by you.
Mm-hmm.
Just which is kind of redundant because if we're not gonna have sex with me, of course we can't have a baby together. But
Okay.
this is they're shaving off their heads, I guess, in a way to like make themselves look less attractive. So
What's the name of it again? Ford?
the 4B, B
The
as in boy,
4B,
the
wow.
4B movement,
Wow.
It's
Gotta
like-
look that up.
and it really shouldn't be that serious, man.
Right.
It's like it's crazy.
Well, it's another thing I want to talk about, but I think we got to do another show on this because we can't do it justice
Okay.
in this short time. I want to see what religion is
Oh
doing.
damn, we forgot to get to
I
that.
know we're gonna get to it another time
Okay,
because
okay.
we got it. That's a special show because that's gonna hit all corners, and we're gonna talk about how religion is affecting our lives today.
Okay.
How that's getting into it.
Okay.
And are we gaining? Is religion gaining or losing? Is it worth the effort? Is it really something or is it really nothing? So this is Hard Hat Conversations. See you next week, hopefully. I want everybody to go in peace. Keith, you want to say something on the end of it?
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me on. I enjoyed myself. I look forward to doing it again.
All right.
I called my wife on the way before I was about to come over here.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I'm about to go over to Richard's house. He wanted me to be on this show. She was like, you and Richard about to do a show together? I was like, yeah. She was like, oh.
Oh man! But we ain't. Hey folks, this is only the beginning. Like I said, I'm gonna bring in some other guests to talk about some other topics. But like I said, this is Hard Hat Conversation.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the truth. Let's do it.